Now on to the intellectual property of Blumhouse and all of the original properties, plus the 2 live shows. So let's get into some info and insights. Hey there, hi there, ho there, Andrew here with some info and insights to Halloween Horror Nights number 27's remaining houses and shows. And as this is the last info and insights video for the HHN 27 season, it will be crammed with a lot of information. So this video is really for the people that haven't gone to the event yet, but if you have already gone to the event, you can keep on watching the video. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so let's first start off with the second house that is a threefer. The first threefer that we talked about this year was American Horror Story, where there are 3 seasons that are all wrapped up into one house. This one, actually, we go from the TV screen to the big screen here. This is about Blumhouse. And the official, what is it? The Horrors of Blumhouse is the official title. But I'm just calling it the house that is Blumhouse's house. Actually, the other title is better than mine. But this house is promoting 3 of Blumhouse's top franchises. It is Sinister, Insidious, and The Purge. So The Purge is a scare zone and a house this year. So that means if you make it through the scare zone, there will still be some loyal citizens out there to do what is right for society and cleanse our country with the purge. They're going to take another swing at you too. So, you might have been lucky the first time. Maybe not so much the second time. But, the Purge has been a pretty strong franchise, so it doesn't shock me too much that it's going to be a scare zone and part of this house. I mean, the Purge has been with Halloween Horror Nights for a few years now, but Blumhouse has plenty of other content, so let's get into the other ones that they've done over the last 2 decades. 2 decades. Blumhouse has been around for a while. Most people don't realize that. So we've got Sinister and Insidious. And Sinister is actually making its debut here at Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. So I'm kind of excited to see a few things that are in store for us. One of the things is that you can see, I hope I say this right because I always mess it up, Bagul? I think that's his name. Bagul. Mr. Boogie. See, whenever I say Bagul, I always think like I'm saying a Jungle Book character. So I'm like, is it Bagheera? Bagooga? Bagooga? So yeah, you're going to see Mr. Boogie in there, I'm sure. You might not actually see him. He might pop up behind you for all we know. That's kind of his MO, I think. Also, I had talked about Insidious. Insidious is back, so you will see some of the characters from Insidious show back up, like the red-faced demon will be back, so expect him to show up from nowhere. Both The Purge and Insidious have been houses in Halloween Horror Nights, like I was alluding to before. But the cool thing that they're doing with Insidious, because the last Insidious they did all the movies. This one, they are introducing the villain of Insidious Chapter 4 in this house. And Insidious Chapter 4 doesn't come out until 2018. So you've got a long way to go. You actually might forget about the villain before the movie comes out. But that's pretty cool. I mean, that's like the ultimate sneak peek. I mean, you've seen this before, like the trailers and all that other stuff. Anyways, they're not the only interesting characters in this. We've got the original properties as well. So, no particular order here. Here they are. The first one I'm going to talk about is Scarecrow The Reaping. Now, the story behind this house is that you are in the ravaged fields of Nebraska. And there is a lot of blood and sweat that has been poured onto this field. Maybe more blood than sweat. To be honest, the farmers have worked this field to the bone. Oh, that's another spooky pun. But basically, they've done too much hard work. They've ravaged this field way beyond repair, and now the farm is gonna have its revenge. I mean, you can only, toil the soil. Is that slang for something? Anyways, you can only, plow the fields. That is slang for something. Where am I going with this? I need to focus before I record. Anyways, basically, the farm is after you now. So, you're the one that's going to be harvested. You like that? One thing that you can definitely expect, though, ooh, there goes that zooming thing again, this camera. You know what? I'm going to say this real quick. That whole zooming thing, that stuck with us until I get a camera. Because I can't figure out how to stop that. One thing that you're going to expect in this house is there are a lot of spots for the scare actors to scare you. I mean, they've got a couple of different spots to go. So if they're going to Try and scare you here. If they don't get you there, they're going to get you in another spot. There are many ways to be scared in this house, and I know the scare actors are going to exploit every single chance. Next on the list is the Hive. Now, I was told that this house had a 1980s vibe to it, or I am thinking about The Fallen right now. I guess I should have looked at my notes before I started to record this, but as you can see, I'm already doing this kind of impromptu. So, yeah. This is a vampire house. And what does that mean? Well, I don't want you to get thinking here that there's going to be a bunch of lustful vampire ladies grinding on a bed. I know, you were thinking about it. It was a couple years ago. It was a popular scene. That's not in this house. No, no, no. The vampires in this house are completely different. They are from the clan Nosferatu. Now, if you don't know that much about the vampire lore and what Nosferatus are, here is what you can expect. Nosferatus are ugly. Ugly. They are not the sparkly, shimmery, whatever the Twilight series vampires are. These are ugly. They are bald. What's wrong with bald? Bald is beautiful. Anyways, they're big-nosed. They're big-eared. I think I'm okay on that aspect. Anyways, they're really, really mean. They're nasty. They're vicious, especially when they're hungry. So expect these really rough, ravenous vampires to be coming after you. You're basically going into their den. Next, it's time to head into Dead Waters. Now, Dead Waters holds a distinct honor that very few original properties get to have. See, they were a scare zone, and a scare zone that made it into a house. The last time that I saw that happen, I think was Saws and Steam, and that was a few years ago. But you see, Dead Waters is based off of HHN 24's scare zone, Bayou of Blood, and which was a really good scare zone. I enjoyed it. The story here is pretty cool. You get to see the Voodoo Queen from Bayou Blood, who performed her live sacrifice at HHN 24 Scare Zone. And that was a lot like if you didn't see HHN 24, but you went to HHN 25, the Icons did their live kills in their scare zone. It was a lot like that, except that it was voodoo themed. So what you can expect in this house is a continuation of the Voodoo Queen's story. Basically, you're going into her realm, which is the Dead Waters. The cool thing is, and one thing that you can expect here in your journey into the Dead Waters is there is a half-sunken riverboat that is in there, and you will have to walk through it, and it is slanted because it's half-sunken. So that means you're going to have to adjust your walking, and you might want to hold on to somebody because it might be a little difficult. Just make sure that you're holding on to somebody that you know, otherwise you might be holding on to one of the skeletal remains of one of the Voodoo Queen's victims. Last on the list for houses is the Fallen. Now this is your typical good versus evil house. The Kingdom of Darkness is once again continuing their ancient battle against good. There's a few twists and turns in this house, which I'm looking forward to. You see, you're going to see the Fallen here jump and crawl and fly. Yes, fly in this house. And I can't wait to see the construction on this. I mean, I'm hoping this is some good scares. I mean, what's in my mind looks pretty cool. Take my word for it. Now let's get into the shows. The first one we're going to talk about is Academy of Villains Afterlife. The Academy of Villains blew everybody's mind last year with the dance routines that they did, set to numerous songs out there while using special effects, of course. I know that I was impressed, and they definitely impressed the bigwigs at Halloween Horror Nights because they brought them back this year. But this year, they're telling the story of what happens when you leave this life and you go into the afterlife. And of course, last but not least is the Bill and Ted Excellent Halloween Adventure, which has been running for 26 years now, ever since 1992, so including that year and this year. 26 years running. It's always been a different show every year. Basically, Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan, otherwise known as Wild Stallions, gets into their phone booth and does battle with anything that is pop culture referenced. They basically pick a villain that is probably one of the more popular characters. I shouldn't say characters, because they're real people. They're pop culture icons. So I'm sure like this year, they're going to be making fun of President Trump, or he might be the villain for the year. I don't know. But the important thing to take away out of all of this is their last year. Universal Orlando has made the statement that this is their farewell. It's like Tupperware, but you can get to throw it away. Farewell tour. Yes, that means that they're not coming back. Which is kind of weird because they're time travelers. They should always be able to come back. But hey, that's a whole nother thought. And why is it that they're having a farewell tour? I have my theories. I might make that a separate video. I don't know. Well, who knows? But what I'm hoping for out of all this is this scene right here.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes!
Or at least I would like to see them rock out to God Gave Rock and Roll to You, like they did in their second movie at the end when they learned how to play. I think that would be a very cool way to end the 26 years that they have been doing this. It's a nice send-off, I think. That would be the most excellent way to give them a most triumphant send-off, to use their lingo. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and tap the like button. Leave a comment telling me which house you are really wanting to see, and then tap the like button. And if you've already gone through the event, tell me which house you are enjoying the most so far, and then tap the like button. See what I did there? Just tap the like button. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit subscribe. That's right, and when you hit subscribe, hit that little bell icon on there. That way you become part of the notification squad, and that means that you will be notified the moment that I upload. And I will see you in the next video.